Plaintiff Shannon Daniels says the defendant is her son, and he's made her life a living nightmare. Shannon claims the defendant does not like her new husband, who spent 22 years in prison for armed robbery. And Shannon suing her son today for the balance due on a car. Defendant Kenneth Davis admits that he does not like Shannon's husband, and he claims not only did they get into a physical fight, but they also got into a shootout. Kenneth is countersuing his mother for breach of contract.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
This is my son, Kenneth. I call him JD. Kenneth has made my life a living hell for several years. Mainly
Since what age?
Since he was like 11 or 12 years old.
How?
Just constant harassment, constant...
How can your 11-year-old harass you?
Well, just trouble. He was trouble, but mainly this just recently happened as far as this case here, okay? Because I've been dealing with him for a long time, but this...
You've been dealing with him, how old are you?
30 years old.
You've been dealing with him for 30 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not just a long time.
Yeah. And so my fiance, well, my husband, me and him been dating since 2016. Kenneth,
So why don't you know whether he's your fiance or husband yet?
I'm sorry.
You should know by now.
Well, he's my husband now.
I'm just having fun.
Okay. Kenneth and I, like I said, I call him JD.
What has it been like since he was 21? He's been a man since 21. What has that been like?
It's been like hell.
Tell me.
Okay.
Some of the things.
My husband, Tommy, was released from prison. He did 22 years for armed robbery. He's now a wonderful man. He's very supportive of me, and Kenneth doesn't like him, okay? It's to the point now where back in 2017...
And you all been married how long?
We've been married since June of 2019.
And when was he released?
In 2016.
16? You went back to jail quick, 3 years.
Oh. No, he was released in 2016.
And went back at 19.
There you go, you're right. You are so right.
Caught it right away.
No, I'm sure his life is great with you. And
Yeah.
So, but that's only since 16. Go ahead, young man. You give me some background on your relationship with your mom.
Your Honor, I love my mother to death. But our relationship has been real rocky since she's been released from prison due to the fact, like I said, we got into a fight at our house and a shooting about a year later.
Shooting?
Yeah.
Between the two of you?
Between the two of
at
us.
each other?
Uh-huh. And she got married to him about a month or two later.
Tell me how that happened, the shooting.
It all happened, I saw him in a car with my uncle. It was up the road from my uncle's apartment. My uncle say, nephew, pull over, you know, to talk to me. So I pull over, park at a distance, knowing that me and him don't really talk like that, or don't deal with each other, rather. As I'm talking to my uncle, he approached me. What's up, young dog? I said, what's up? He go to shake my hand. I look at his hand. Like, I'm not shaking your hand.
So why'd you have a problem with him at that point?
Like I said, he started a fight at my house because...
With you?
With me.
Because?
Because she came over to my house with him, which I'm not comfortable with the fact that he came home from prison with one of our relatives who was a child molester. He was a friend of the guy, of the relative, right? So being that they came home as friends from prison, and this relative was a child molester, I'm not comfortable with my children, who was 7 at the time and 3. Not only that, when they came home from prison, she was married. She was married to her husband, like I say. In the middle of everything happened so sudden. From the divorce to this new situation in a matter of months. They was married for 16, 17 years.
All right, so he came over where your children there one time, and you wouldn't let him in. You said...
No, I told her I just wasn't comfortable with my children being around. She hollered up the stairs, tell me, you need to mind your business. I said, you can leave my house. He say, who you talking to? I said, who you talking to? So he like, come down here and find out who I'm talking to. So I come down the stairs. He's standing like he ready to fight. So I grab a knife. Like I said, you see you a little bigger, I grab a knife. I tell him, hey, you touch me, I'm gonna split you like a sausage. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna play with you. Get out my house. She's standing there, don't say nothing the whole time.
That's not true.
No, they didn't leave. They didn't leave until we actually threw hands. We ended up fighting because, like I said, I had the knife. He told me, put the knife down, put the knife down. So I put the knife down. We go out in the front yard, get to fighting. He stopped. I'm gonna let you have it, young dog. I'm gonna let you have it. I said, no, you ain't gonna let me have nothing. Yeah. So look, so he go to tell me, you keep pressing that button, I'm gonna put your BA 6 feet. She's standing here, don't stop the situation at all.
That's not true.
They go to pull off, and I'm like, at this point, they only leave because my girlfriend went to call the police. At the time, he on parole. He can't have no police contact.
Baiting you. You were baiting him. That's what you were doing.
So he had no reason to be in my house. If I asked y'all politely to leave my house because I don't want my children around, y'all could have just left my house.
We were coming to pick up the dog.
Okay, he had no business coming in my house.
You got upset because the children...
Ma'am, did he ask you all to leave?
No,
he didn't ask?
No, he...
Okay,
so why did the fight ensue? What was that about?
This is exactly what happened. We came back from out of town to pick up the dog, okay? His girlfriend was watching the dog for us. He came downstairs... And yes, my son Kenneth came downstairs, and then for one, he started to disrespect me, telling me, why you have him over here? Why you have him over here? Then from that point, before I know it, they had engaged in some
Before I knew it, he told you, why you bring him over here?
No, he
and
did
the
not
next
tell
step
me
he
that.
said is get him out of here. Yes, he did.
That's not true.
Yes, he did.
That's not true.
Yes, he did. You handled that perfectly, young man. I'm proud. Where you live?
Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, shoot. Detroit. You handled it extra well.
That's not true.
You handled it extra well. You handled it very, very
That's
well
not even
from
his
Detroit.
house.
Tell me about the shooting.
The shooting. It's
So
because
he
I didn't
reached
want
out to shake your hand.
Yeah,
This is after that incident had already occurred.
Yeah.
You said, no, I ain't shaking your
Yeah,
hand.
because you told me you could put me 6 feet. And
Right.
I told him, no, I ain't shaking your hand. You the same one told me you would put me 6 feet.
Right. Then what happened?
So he say, okay, he paced around like this, like in circles. Okay, I'm a registered carrier, CPL. Okay, so he get the pacing.
Everybody got guns. I don't know what make people think they can fight nowadays.
Look,
Nobody's fighting anymore.
He go put his hand in my face. He said, you know what, I'm going to tell you this, young boy. I said, you ain't going to tell me nothing. What you going to do is get your hand on my face. So I go to reach in my car. Like I said, I'm standing at my car at this point. His car is at a great distance. He didn't have to go get the gun. When I go to grab my gun, he pulling out a gun too. It turned into a shootout. Only thing that stopped the shooting was probably that it was people outside and running in between us. Witnesses, somebody.
All right, so you all got past that, obviously.
Yeah.
And you haven't been associating anymore since then.
Nope, no interaction since then.
Good.
Nope.
Tell me about why you're suing him.
I'm suing him, Judge, because Kenneth, back in 2015, Kenneth asked me to co-sign for a vehicle because he got a job in Toledo and he wanted reliable transportation. As a mother, like I said, I love him. I love my son as well. And I agreed to co-sign for him. Once he got the car, he stopped paying the car notes, okay? Fast forward to 2017, the car was repoed, okay? Once they repoed the vehicle, he paid the 3 months to get the car back out, okay? Several months later, they repoed it for the second time, okay? This time they said, well, in order for you to get this vehicle, you have to pay the full balance, okay? Now, the finance company, collection company is harassing me, telling me that I owe this amount, okay? Kenneth has refused to pay anything. I went into an agreement with the collection agency just to keep them off of my back.
Young man.
It's not true.
All right,
She
I'm
co-signed
looking at
for the
a
car.
bond.
No, she co-signed for the car. The moment I stopped paying for the note because she was the co-signer without her being present, I couldn't renew my tags.
That's not true.
No.
That's not true.
No.
Listen, in Ohio.
Yeah.
In the state of Ohio.
Not true.
I could not renew it.
You don't have to carry your co-signer around with you every time
you don't.
need.
Right.
Every time you gotta
listen.
take care
It was
of
the
some
fact. No, it was the
business,
fact that she was on the title. My license was suspended at the
Sir, I
time.
know exactly how co-signing goes, and yes, on the title, all of that. Your counterclaim is for what, sir? How does she owe you $5,000?
because, like I say, she wouldn't go with me so I could get the tax renewed.
Okay.
So I
All right.
stopped paying.
She didn't have an obligation to do it, and your counterclaim is dismissed, and yours is granted.
Thank
so
you,
that's
sir.
that's not a legal defense. Have a good day.
I was only trying to help him, but it backfired.
I had nothing to say.